For this sample dress, we're going to be working with these dimensions: shoulder 15, bust 31, half length 15, waist 26, hip 34, dress length 54, sleeve length 16, and the sleeve round is 11. Now, before we proceed, I'd like to describe what we're about to do when we start to cut by using this rough diagram. What we are attempting to do is to make a dress that will have a lower part that is in 6-piece. This lower part is just like you cutting a 6-piece skirt, but the difference is we're making a dress. So we're going to have the front part that's going to be just like this, plain. We're not going to be doing any cutting into 6 pieces. For the top, it's just going to be a regular looking upper part of the dress, but we're going to have that in the middle, and then the back of the dress is going to have zipper. So at the back of this, we'll have a zipper that will run from here down to around the hip area at the back. Now, the way we're going to be cutting this is, if you look at this, we have a 6-piece. What this means is that this lower part, we're going to cut this into 6 different pieces, 6 different panels. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 at the front. At the back, we're also going to have 1, 2, 3. The only difference at the back is we're going to have to divide this center panel into 2 at the back. And we're dividing it into 2 because of the zip. We need to have a zipper at the back, so these have to be open at the back. So because we're going to have a zipper, we're going to have a zip allowance at the back, which we will see when we start to cut. Now, I'm going to be using some calculations to help you understand what we're going to be doing here when we start cutting. Now, don't be intimidated by all of this. This is just to help us understand what we're going to be doing. Now, when we start cutting for our waist, because we're cutting this from the waist down as a 6-piece, so the waist and the hip, the way we're going to calculate for each panel to know what we're going to be cutting for each panel, remember this is a 6-piece, 6 individual panels. The way we're going to calculate that is what I have down here. For the waist, we have a waist of 26. We're going to be dividing that waist by 12. The reason we are dividing the waist by 12 is simply because when we cut this individual panel, we're going to be cutting them on the fold, meaning that we're going to fold it into 2. So when we fold into 2 and we start to cut, remembering that we have 1, 2, 3 at the front and another 3 at the back, that gives us 6 panels. So by the time we are folding each panel into 2, we have to multiply that 6 by 2 because we are cutting again on the fold. Now, when you start to make a top or a dress, we need to divide that shoulder by 2 when we start to cut. That is because when we cut, we fold it. And remember, when you took your shoulder measurement, you went from one edge of the shoulder to the other edge of the shoulder. You did not go round to take a circumference. It's just 1 to 1. So when you fold, you're just going to be dividing by 2, which is what we have here. And we got 7.5. And whenever you're cutting, you must always remember to add a seam allowance, which is 0.5 in this case. You can decide to use 1 inch depending on what you're comfortable with, but I am going to be using 0.5 in this case. Then for the bust, you will notice we are dividing the bust by 4. Now, why 4? That's because when you take the measurement for your bust, you went round the bust area you took a circumference of the bust. So when you start to cut, that measurement you took, you need to divide that into 4 because you're cutting on a fold. And we're going to be cutting for the front part and the back part. So that is why we're dividing by 4. When you fold it, you have 2 layers right there for the front and 2 layers for the back. So that is why you're dividing your bust area by 4. And this is what we got, 7.75. You had your allowance and we arrived at 8.25.